If you are looking for a place that is reasonably priced, but close to Charlotte, all of the amenities that Charlotte has to offer, but you don't really want to pay those prices, well, I have the perfect place to consider. It's just 20 minutes outside of Charlotte. It really sits right next to it on the northeast side. Small town with an upcoming downtown area, lots of businesses, restaurants, things to do. And if you love the water, love nature, you definitely need to consider a place called Mount Holly. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. It's really a great place to consider for young professionals, first-time buyers, families, people who are looking for all of the benefits that come along with a great place like this that has a good economy, that's really close to a lot of things, going to offer good commute times. So we're going to dive into it today. My name is Chris Phillis, and I help people just like you, whether you're living here now or relocating here from a different area, try to figure out where the best place for you to live is. And so that's what we'll talk about today. Mount Holly, North Carolina is a small town. It is 20,000 or so people that live in Mount Holly right now. It's about 11 square miles. It sits right along the Catawba River. And so we have three lakes here. Lake Norman up north, it's the largest. Mountain Island Lake, Mount Holly sits on as well. Or Mountain Island Lake is a really tiny lake. And then this all connects through the Catawba River down to Lake Wylie, which is it's like the second largest lake. When I think of Mount Holly, I really just think of like outdoors, nature. You have really good access to the river and lake life. And so it's a really big plus. I know a lot of people that I talk to, they're really looking to get outdoors a lot more. And so that's really appealing to them. And so if you are somebody that is like that, it's right next to the Whitewater Center. For example, the Whitewater Center is this like amazing place that you have to check out if you haven't been there yet. It's one of our first things that we did here when we moved here. Immediately bought the season pass. We have one now again, and they're always improving it as well. So it's just an awesome place. So many things. I've done a video on that before, actually a couple, and I'll put that link here as well so you can get an idea of what it's really like. Let's dive into Mount Holly a little bit more here. All right, median age 37 and median income is 76,000 per household right now. It's just a little bit less than the median household income for Charlotte, which I think is like 78 or 80,000 at the moment. And so it's really just a good place for families, young professionals. Like I was saying, it's going to give you really good proximity. And like I said, it has like a downtown area that they're really developing. We go there for little places to eat, just, really casual. It's low key. Like if you like that low key kind of atmosphere. And so that's really going to be something that Mount Holly will offer. It's 15 minutes to the airport. So you're on the northwest side of Charlotte, and the airport is on the west side. So you just drive a little bit south, essentially, to get to the airport. Really easy commute. I-85 gets you to Mount Holly. And then once you're on 485, which loops the entire Charlotte region here, that moves pretty quickly, especially from that western corridor there. Really 485 on the south side really gets backed up. But all right, so you're 25 minutes to Uptown and to UNC Charlotte, which is great. And then you can actually really get from Mount Holly to Matthews in 40 minutes. It's a decent drive in terms of miles, but because you can get on 485 pretty quickly from Mount Holly, you're going to get there 40 minutes, which really may sound bad, but it's really not bad when you put things in perspective here, because commute times, they're a challenge for basically everyone. And so trying to find that balance is going to be obviously important for most people. All right, so niche.com gives Mount Holly a B-. I think Mount Holly is a really good place to hang out. Walk the downtown area, take the kids there. Two different zip codes in Mount Holly. You have 28120, which is the main zip code for Mount Holly. Now, when they annexed the land, it looks like back in 1988, the Mount Holly post office couldn't handle some of the southern regions that they took ownership of. And so those south sections of Mount Holly, they actually show up a lot of times on the address as Belmont. So if you look sections just north of I-85, like Catawba Heights, for example, that's going to show up. If you're looking at for properties, it'll show up as Belmont, but really it's Mount Holly. They just keep that Belmont mailing address from years ago when Mount Holly really didn't have the postal system in place to handle all those new addresses. So Mount Holly's on the western side of the Catawba River, and that river bends around. And so there used to be a River Bend steam station on Mountain Island Lake. It's kind of where it got its name, because that's where the river was bending, essentially. There's also a neighborhood pretty popular neighborhood called Riverbend. It's technically in Charlotte, not Mount Holly, but just kind of know that like that Riverbend name is well, I guess, referenced. Mount Holly's on the western side of the Catawba. Just across the Catawba, like 3 miles from like downtown Mount Holly, is the Whitewater Center. So you're super close to that. You know, you have to go there to really kind of see what it's like. If you have young kids, you can go, I think they call it Wildwood. It's basically free and the kids can play. It's all in an enclosed area. There's just tons of things for them to do. You know, the Whitewater Center is where the U.S. national whitewater team trains. So they have whitewater course that you can take. They have zip lines and rope courses, bike trails. So it's very just immerses you in the outdoors. It's just a fun place to do concerts there and events and, you know, river jam and like all this stuff that they do there. So it's just a lot of fun. The northern side of Mountain Island Lake, which is actually where we live. Not many people know about Mountain Island Lake. It's very small. You really have to zoom in on the map. That lake actually serves as the drinking water for all of Charlotte. So now on the north side of Mountain Island Lake is Mount Holly, essentially. So one of the main neighborhoods there is Stonewater, which I'll talk about here in just a minute. But the most of Mount Holly is just going to be on the west side of the Catawba River. You have a little downtown area. You're going to have a good mix of older homes there as well. And so let's talk about, I guess, things to do there. As I mentioned, it's kind of like this outdoor place, so to speak. I mean, you know, there's just a lot of outdoor activities. I think a lot of the Carolinas, you know, we do a good job, as I always mention, about greenways and parks and trails and things like that. Mount Holly is no exception to that. So there are like 5 miles of greenway, 6 miles of trails, 140 acres of public parks in Mount Holly. You have, so the River Street Park is right in the downtown area on the eastern side. And that's going to connect to the Riverhawk Greenway. So great place. You can just tap into the Greenway, go for walks when you going to or from downtown. You also have down south, you have the Tuckasegee Park. I think that's like 31 acres or so. And then up north, you have the Mountain Island Park, which is like 41 acres or so of park. And just connected to that Mountain Island Park, you have bike trails, miles and miles of different bike trails all along the Catawba River, which is great. I think that's cool. Haven't done it personally yet, but it's on my to-do list. On the northern side of Mount Holly, you have the Mountain Island Educational State Forest. It's 2,000 acres. And it's really adjacent to a little town called Lucia. If you look on the map, Lucia. It's one of the unique things too about this Mountain Island Lake because it's very protected from a natural like wildlife standpoint. So you don't really have a lot of lakeshore front area that's built up. Like they don't allow commercial businesses. There's no gas station, for example, or even a restaurant yet on Mountain Island Lake because they just are protecting the area. They're basically looking to just keep it clean. All right, so other things like outdoor things to do, I guess you have Mount Holly Swim and Racket Club, which is a public like pool. Essentially, you paid to be a member. As far as I know, there are no restrictions as to where you live. I think anybody can join. It's just a question of how many people are currently, you know, a member at the racket club or swim club, essentially. So they have like pickleball courts, tennis courts. They have like diving board, swimming pools for kids, lap pools, etc. There's a YMCA. The Stowe Family YMCA is in Mount Holly on the south side. And then if you're looking to maybe rent a boat or something, you can go to the Tail Race Marina, which is on the southern section of Mount Holly. It's actually in a neighborhood called Riverfront. It's like mainly a townhome community. It's a great little neighborhood. They have like 3-story townhomes, which I'll mention here at the end as well. You know, go over pricing and stuff like that. But they have a little restaurant. But the Tail Race Marina, you can rent boats or kayaks. So it's really, in that neighborhood actually has a pool too. So it's kind of like, it's a really cool little area. All right, so the downtown Mount Holly. Now, keep in mind, this is not uptown Charlotte. This is not South End where, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars have poured in to develop it. This is not that. This is a small town that's close to Charlotte and South End. It's just this little quaint, like, you know, town. So if you're looking to kind of just get out of the rush, and really Charlotte's not like that anyways, but it's just obviously like a slower pace. It's just very like relaxed atmosphere in Mount Holly. But they do have a nice little downtown area and they're always improving it. And it seems like, you know, if you're a business owner looking to start a place, I would definitely consider a place like Mount Holly. I think it offers a lot for several reasons. Just people moving there, maybe a younger demographic in terms of just like being able to kind of spend money on things and just, you know, downtown areas. I think that's going to be a good opportunity for people. They have like a lot of little boutique shops there. They have give you a couple names here: Vintage Nest, like refurbished furniture. Now for like dining and stuff like that, to give you a couple, like Troust Brewing is right in the downtown area. They actually have really good food there. So I was surprised at the food. Did not expect a good, forget what we even had there, but it was really good. So check that place out. Right next to that Troust Brewing in downtown is Bolton's Curbside Cookery. Apparently, and I have not eaten there yet, apparently they have one of the best burgers in not only the region, but the state, I guess. I mean, depends on who you ask, right? But have a burger and let me know how it is. I know it's also on my to-do list. They have some older places as well. So if you're looking for some nostalgia, some vintage, atmosphere, they have a place called Bright Star Drive-In. And so it kind of has like that 1960s feel. A place that we also eat a lot at is Basilios Italian restaurant. They have a drive-through actually where you can pick up food, but they give you a pretty good quantity of food. I love Italian food personally, so I'm a fan, and I think it's pretty good. It's just a nice little local spot right in downtown. And another place too, you have 119 North Main for like sushi and Thai. That's a pretty popular spot. See that JR Cash's Grill and Bar. That's the one that's in that riverfront neighborhood, and I think I've had like some drinks there before, but it's just I love the fact that it's like right in the neighborhood. So if you live in the riverfront neighborhood, or there's a few adjacent neighborhoods right to it, connected to it, like just to be able to walk there, and plus you're basically on the water, that's a plus to me. I love that. Another one to maybe check out is the Muddy River Distillery, which I've not been to yet. I guess it's Gaston County's oldest standing textile mill, and it was an old cotton mill. And that's on Dutchman's Creek technically, but really Dutchman's Creek just feeds into the Catawba River. They make rum there. Go on a tour of their distillery. I think it's open to the public just on Saturdays, I want to say, but check their website. They do private tours, and you can have events there as well. So that may be something to check out. Now, Belmont is the big brother of Mount Holly. And Belmont's gonna be a little bit more built up, a little nicer, a little bit more expensive though. So if you're looking to keep your expenses down, you're looking for a lower price home, at least consider Mount Holly. I think it has a lot going on for it. Other things to do in Mount Holly, from like if you're into like art and stuff like that, they have Create in Us Art Studio. And I guess you can do like hands-on art classes suitable for all ages, they say. They have a historical society. There are some historical buildings in Mount Holly. I believe there are like 25 or so historical buildings. I'm not aware of a historical district. I could be wrong. That is the case, which we would look into. Just know that for any historical district properties, there are restrictions on what you can do to it, the exterior and often the interior. It's a whole separate process in terms of if you want to change anything like windows, siding, elevation, things like that. They're going to have a whole process. So I'm not aware of that in Mount Holly, but again, we would have to look into that on a case-by-case basis. Another art gallery, Awaken Art Gallery, is in downtown, and they also do events and art classes. The downtown area, so other things, they're going to have a farmer's market, just like most areas do now, I feel like, which is cool. They do that apparently from May to August on Saturdays. They also have like seasonal events. So downtown, they're going to be they're right on the river. That's a great opportunity for the community to get together, have parks like that Riverhawk Greenway. There's lots of opportunity to really have those seasonal annual events, etc., and just kind of foster good community. They have recently started doing Mount Holly Night. They do live music, food trucks in the downtown area. They do that on select Fridays, so I don't think it's every Friday during the summertime. I think there's just designated dates, so just check the website. If you do some Googling, you'll probably see, but it's called Mount Holly Nights, and that may be something to check out. So now, what does it cost to live in Mount Holly? Let's talk about some of the pricing. And when I think of Mount Holly, one thing to really know is that they have a good amount of older homes built before 1960. Now, there's been a lot of new development. There are definitely a lot of homes, the majority of homes actually are built after 2000 in Mount Holly, but just know that a portion or a decent segment of the Mount Holly market is going to be 1940 to 1960 homes, small homes, one bathroom a lot of times, or they maybe added a bathroom without a permit 30 years ago. The house is 1,100 square feet or 800 square feet. Some of them are built in 1920. And so you will have that in Mount Holly, and especially at that lower entry level price point for a single family home. There are not a lot of townhomes in Mount Holly, which is unique because everywhere else in Charlotte and a lot of these other towns, it's like every new property is a townhome. So many townhomes. And I lived in townhomes for years. Nothing wrong with it. It's just, I think we would all love to see more single family homes at a good price point. But so the way that I'm going to do this pricing here, so it's pre-1960, 3-bed, 1.5 bath, about 1,100 square feet, 0.33 acre lot. It's a pretty good sized lot. And that would be roughly, median is 300,000. Then I did another one pre-2000. So anywhere from basically 1920 up to 2000. The median single family home would be a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet on a 0.45 acre lot. Surprisingly larger lots for just a little bit more, 309,000. That would be the price. All right, and then after 2000s is where you're going to see a decent jump in price and everything. So that would be a 3-bed, 3-bath, a little over 2,200 square feet, 0.25 acre lot, which is still a good size, and that price is 425,000 at the moment. So if you Google median home price in Mount Holly, you'll see that it's closer to like 370,000, which really relatively minor differences, but just know that there's a decent price difference between the older homes and something newer. I mean, some people come and they're like, hey, listen, we don't want a home built in 1960 or 50, maybe looking for something newer. Just know that it's going to be obviously more expensive for that. All right, so some of these, I guess, popular, neighborhood spotlights for single family homes. You have Wood Hill, just really small neighborhood. It's just the west of downtown. And but those are going to be like 800,000+, really large lots though, and sort of unique. I mean, that turnover is going to be very rare. I think there's like less than 20 homes in that whole neighborhood. Stonewater is a large neighborhood. It's on the north side of Mountain Island Lake. Hundreds of homes in there. Really great neighborhood, and the price range is pretty wide. It's like 625,000 all the way up. There's one listed now for 1.9 million. I think on average though, the median price is going to be closer to like mid sevens, like 770, 800,000 or so. So there's a few there that are like 1.2 on average. Most of those are going to be like in the sevens, maybe 8. But it's a really nice neighborhood, and you have water access essentially. Imagery is a retirement. It's a 55 and older neighborhood, also on Mountain Island Lake. And those were built in like 2020, roughly. And those are going to be a mix. You have 3 beds, 3 baths. I think most of those are all 1-story ranches, 2,300 square feet. And those prices are about 625,000. If you have anybody looking for a retirement 55 and older community, that would be a place to consider. All right, so for townhomes, there's really just like 3 main neighborhoods for that. There might be a few more that I'm just, not familiar with, but Riverfront was the one that I was referencing earlier. That's the one that has Lake or Catawba River access, the JR Cash's Grill and Bar restaurant there. It's right next to the Tail Race Marina. Those are the 3-story townhomes. The prices range from like 300 all the way to 340. And then you have Autumn Ridge. Those are like 3 and 4 bedroom, 1 and 2-story townhomes. Prices are like 275 to 330. And then Mountain Island townhomes, they're a little bit older, I believe, but you can get townhomes there still for 250,000, which I think is a great deal. Those are 2 and 3 bedroom properties, and they're also 1 and 2-story properties. Your money's gonna go further in Mount Holly. It always comes down to the commute. Almost always. And obviously, like the higher the budget, you're going to be able to be more selective in what you want and things that you're looking for from an amenity standpoint. But for a lot of people that I talk to, I mean, Mount Holly, I think offers quite a bit because of its proximity. It has just a lot of pluses to it. You're going to have access to all these things if you like getting outdoors and doing that stuff. And so, yeah. So consider Mount Holly, I think, and let me know if you have any questions, comments on this. If you live in Mount Holly, if you've been there, if you're just curious to, on anything else, real estate related, happy to answer those questions. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.